So, two things have come to my attention lately. One is that scientists are saying that dark matter could have existed before the Big Bang. And what I mean by before the Big Bang is before inflation. So, in my philosophy, I like to take the fundamental factors, the bare bones of the way that things work, and apply them to any situation. Yes? So, with the double slit experiment, we know that electromagnetic radiation behaves as waves, and when is measured, forms photons. And so, with cosmic inflation happening, if dark matter already existed, this shifts the clock for, when observation came into the picture. You know what I'm saying? Because if dark matter, doesn't abide to the laws of quantum field theory, if it doesn't behave the way that particles that interact with the electromagnetic spectrum behave, then you look at the fact that it existed sequentially before inflation, and I don't know, there's so much to be asked because there is no definitive answer on what measurement even means as far as quantum field theory's application to everyday life. I mean, when you think about where something is in the room, you're measuring it. You're using your, senses to approximate its position in relativity to the other things in the room, and so in theory, you're affecting it. Now, I already saw somebody say multiverse, made out of dark matter, going the other way in time. And I see that as completely logical. I see the universe as a constant reiteration of itself, and it will take anybody as far as they can go before they can't follow it anymore. And it's a fractal. No matter where you look at a hologram, you're only seeing its surface. Everything else that exists behind all this light and all this vibration is just non-local to energy, non-local to first-person observation, because observation is entangled with energy. So we're kind of stuck here at a point, or some would argue a line or a ray, considering time's inevitability. What was the other thing that I saw? Oh yes, a new particle, a quasi-particle discovered that moves one way through space carrying information, or it has mass going one way and no mass going the other way in space, which I thought was really interesting because supposedly it's a vacuum extending infinitely, left, right, up, down, forward, backward, and one direction in time, essentially. Or I like to look at it, all directions in time except for one being backwards. Now, if these particles exist as a response to cosmic inflation, it would make sense, because when you expand a balloon that has dots drawn on it, all the dots get farther away from each other. They're all going, regardless of, the properties of the surface of the balloon, because of the nature of the inflation, they're all getting farther away from each other. Now, some parts of the surface of the balloon might expand faster, which is another recent thing. But I guess there could be a bias because of this inflation. And so I wonder if they'll use these quasi-particles as a way to sort of reiterate the legitimacy of,